Imagine this. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, pitch black outside, and you're jolted awake by someone pounding furiously on your front door. Not knocking, kicking it like they're trying to break in. You stumble out of bed, heart racing, and through the peephole, you see a middle-aged woman in a robe, screaming about having a master key and demanding you open up right now. But here's the twist. She's the neighborhood HOA president, and she has no idea that behind that door are two highly trained, retired military German shepherds ready to protect their home. In that moment, her entitled tantrum turns into pure terror as deep, thunderous barks echo through the house. She freezes, backs away, and flees into the night. That single incident, it was just the beginning of an epic showdown that exposed years of corruption, fraud, and outright bullying in one quiet suburban community. My name is Marcus Hale, and a few years ago, my family and I moved into Oak Ridge Meadows, a gated neighborhood that looked perfect on the surface, manicured lawns, community pool, family-friendly vibe. I'm a retired Army veteran, served 2 tours overseas as a military police officer working with K9 units. When I got out, I brought home my 2 partners, Baron and Shadow, massive German shepherds who'd sniffed out explosives, tracked suspects, and saved lives more times than I can count. They were retired too, but to us, they were family, loyal, protective, and dealing with some PTSD from their service, just like me. We didn't think much about the HOA at first. The president was Evelyn Grant, a sharp-tongued woman in her late 50s who'd been running the board solo for over a decade. Everyone called her the queen behind her back because she acted like she owned the place. She sent out newsletters full of rules, fined people for the tiniest things, and held mandatory meetings where she'd lecture everyone on compliance. The trouble started small. Evelyn began complaining about Baron and Shadow. First, it was anonymous noise complaints to the city, claiming they barked nonstop. But they didn't. They were trained professionals, quiet and less provoked. Then she demanded we remove their outdoor kennel and agility equipment, calling it unsightly structures that violated covenants. She even hinted they were aggressive breeds and a threat to kids in the neighborhood. It felt personal, like she had something against military families. Turns out we weren't the first vets she targeted. I started paying attention. Using skills from my old job, I set up security cameras around the house, doorbell cam, backyard feeds, the works. I documented every interaction. Neighbors started talking to me privately. Other military families who'd moved in over the years told stories. Forced sales after endless fines, bogus violations to drive down property values, even rumors that Evelyn was buying up homes cheap through shady real estate deals. One couple said she'd spread lies about their service dog being dangerous until they couldn't take the harassment and left. Things escalated fast. Evelyn filed repeated false reports with animal control, trying to get Baron and Shadow classified as nuisances. She called child services on us once, claiming the dogs were a danger to our kids. Total fabrication. At community meetings, she'd rally residents against us, painting me as some unstable veteran who didn't belong. My wife, Lena, a nurse with a knack for numbers from handling hospital budgets, got suspicious about the HOA finances. Dues were high, but nothing ever got fixed. The pool was cracked, streets had potholes, and reserves seemed non-existent. Lena requested financial records, as allowed by state law. Evelyn dragged her feet, made excuses, but eventually turned over a messy pile. That's when the red flags popped. Missing money, payments to fake vendors, personal expenses disguised as maintenance. Lena dug deeper, cross-referencing public records and old bank statements neighbors shared. Evelyn had been siphoning funds for years, luxury vacations, home renovations, even buying properties in the neighborhood through shell companies. Her big scam? Target military families on deployments or with PCS moves. Pile on fines, devalue homes, force sales, then snap them up cheap and flip them for profit. It was a multi-year racket worth hundreds of thousands. We weren't taking it lying down. I sent a certified cease and desist letter demanding she stop the harassment. I filed complaints with the state attorney general's office overseeing HOAs. Word spread, and other victims came forward, 5 families with similar stories. We formed a group, shared evidence, and demanded an independent audit. Evelyn panicked. She filed a bogus restraining order against me, claiming I was threatening her. Then she tried spreading rumors that I was unstable from service, even hinting at terrorism ties. Absurd and disgusting. She bribed neighbors with waived fines to testify against us. But our cameras caught everything. Her trespassing, peeking in windows, leaving threatening notes. The climax came one night around 4 a.m. We'd heard rumors she was desperate, trying to plant fake evidence to bolster her claims. Sure enough, our cameras captured her sneaking onto our property with a flashlight, carrying a bag. She headed straight for the door, claiming later she had a master key from some old HOA legend. Total lie. No such thing existed. She started kicking the door, yelling for us to open up, saying she needed to inspect for violations immediately. That's when Baron and Shadow went into full alert mode. Their barks were deafening, deep, commanding roars from years of training. Evelyn dropped her bag, screamed, and bolted, tripping over her own feet in the dark. Police arrived, called by neighbors woken by the noise, reviewed our footage, and arrested her on the spot for attempted breaking and entering, trespassing, and later tied it all to the fraud investigation. The fallout was massive. The audit confirmed embezzlement, over $400,000 missing. State investigators got involved, then the feds because of the pattern targeting veterans, possible hate crime angle. Evelyn's fake presidency unraveled. She'd been self-appointed after bullying the old board out years ago. Charges piled up. Fraud, embezzlement, forgery, harassment. Her empire crumbled. She lost everything, faced prison time, and the neighborhood dissolved the old HOA, forming a fair one. We organized a final community meeting, live-streamed it for transparency. Dozens showed up, sharing stories, cheering as the truth came out. Baron and Shadow, they got extra treats that night, heroes once again. Looking back, that 4 a.m. door-kicking meltdown was her undoing. She forgot who she was messing with. A veteran who documents everything, a wife who follows the money, and 2 loyal K9s who'd never let harm come to their pack. If you're dealing with an overreaching HOA, document it all, rally your neighbors, and don't back down. Sometimes justice comes with a bark.